the landing. There will be another ACOG watching him as the Echo works away, and he sees the head of Echo. He takes him down. They're just going to need to wait on the time. Sexy Cake, what a clutch! The Ying taking out Gohan and Mab.
How's it going? This is GRMP, and today we're going over the highlights and tips from the Latin America match between Faze and Team Liquid. This match had a lot of Valkyrie cam spots, some useful angles, and a couple of cheeky plays on Oregon and Clubhouse. Unfortunately though, their stream wasn't the best quality, therefore my clips from their stream were of similar quality, but hopefully you can still get the idea. As usual, there will be time links for each tip in the description, and we'll go in chronological order, starting with a nice angle in Meeting Room.
And you've got 3 on site. You've got Bullet and Sexy Cake from Liquid playing up in meeting still right now.
So I know this angle doesn't seem that crazy, and the defenders had a pretty specific strategy for holding off meeting hall push. They had a mirror window right there, a defender up in attic with I think a rotation hold to main second floor. They were essentially trying to slow down the breach of the lobby hatch. But the reason I think this angle is so good, even when you're not playing that strategy, is that you can hold easy peeks on both doorways into meeting hall. So when they decide to push in here, you have a great angle on the right doorway, and all you do is lean left, and you have a really nice little peek hole through the sandbags right here through left doorway.
Bullet and Sexy Cake far off site. Nesk going to be the only one to defend against the attack.
So for these smoke angles to work, you need to take out the entire wall into laundry room. I see some players just make small rotation holes, but you want the whole thing taken out for most of the angles that you want. Essentially, you're trying to avoid any angles from the hatch, which is what you're most vulnerable to. And behind the mirror window, you're way too vulnerable to grenades and capital arrows, so back here is a little bit better. From this wall, you're able to easily get a smoke onto the back wall and prevent any plant in that corner and prevent some of the push from stairs. But a better spot to land your smoke would be on the shelving unit or just past it. So right about there, you're able to get it right past the shelving unit. And when you're able to land it on this line, you're able to prevent any push from the stairs to the back of laundry machine or into that corner. And if you think they're already in the process of planting, if you angle just slightly right from that same exact spot, let's see if I can hit it right about there. You're able to get it onto the shelving unit and kill anybody that's trying to plant on these two corners.
Backup gets Moringa. Gohan from below, hitting the impacts, looking for some frags. It's a primary defense from underneath.
So I'm not going to go over the entire defensive strategy for this one. Their defense was a total commitment of downstairs hold from first floor, preventing the plant from first floor for second floor. But what I did think was interesting was their ability to hold these 2 windows into kids' dorms from bathroom. I think that's really important because you usually have a mirror or somebody playing the mirror window right there. And from here, you're able to hold off the attack on those windows. You're able to slow down the push onto hallway or to white stairs. And if you do see somebody rappelling over there or on tower shooting through those windows, you can get a better angle from kitchen doorway while still protecting them.
This time around, they need to be more assertive with opening up the floor, and it seems like that's just what's happening here with Faze. Now, they also need to not lose cameraman to a very simple run-in from Nesk. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, was an example of a tremendously good drone game from Team Liquid, calling out the information for Nesk, allowing him to simply peek in and do what he does best. So, I don't think they've gone to the top floor.
Liquid going to upstairs?
Yeah, I think they have it.
So this is obviously not a new Valkyrie camera spot, but the reason I like it is because it's so camouflaged within all the rocks or large stones on top of the roof right there. So it makes it harder to spot, obviously, when it's off, and when it's on, you're able to see both towers and across the roof and defend, especially when you're playing dorms, you're able to keep an eye on kids' dorms' windows.
Working against one another, and the only team that has been able to fix their problem was Liquid, and that of course shows by the fact they are the only.
This one is so simple. It's just a Valkyrie camera in this exposed corner, but the reason it works is because that corner is so dark. You'll have a few of these on every map where it's just an extremely dark black hole of a corner. Basically, if the light of the camera isn't on, it's extremely hard to spot, especially with all this kind of smoke in the room. And obviously, it is so useful because having information from this main lobby, whether you're downstairs, upstairs, or wherever you're defending on this map, it's going to be helpful.
In a row will put us into overtime.
Oh, that mute jammer. The way they placed the mute jammer, it was on the sink rather than on the corner of the actual countertop. Now, usually when you put it on the corner of the countertop, what it does is it captures most of the drop down, but not all of it. There's a little corner that's towards the sandbags in the main lobby, that little corner that you can put a Excaros on and open up the drop down. But you notice they put it on the sink. That means that if the attacking team is reading you have a mute and they're thinking that there's going to be a jammer on that drop down, they're going to put it on that corner. But the sink is closer to the corner. So they couldn't open the drop down, or at least they thought they couldn't, but all they really needed to do was switch corners they were putting the Excaros on, which is why there was such a heavy investment in that hold of the staircase, because the defense was reading that they weren't going to get the drop down open. What a beautiful mind trick there.
And on top of that, they had the mute.
So I'm not going to go further into the explanation of how clever that play was by the defenders, but essentially he was talking about the difference between putting the mute jammer on the sink right here or the mute jammer right there. So if the mute jammer is on this corner, the only area the next Kaios can take it out would be on that corner of the hatch, and if the mute jammer is on the more common spot on the table right here, the only spot to get a next Kairos to blow up in the hatch is on that corner.
Sexy Cake pushed down as quickly as he did as that blitz was because I think he was trying to essentially be that drone for the team, because the actual jammer was depriving them, or at least depriving Liquid, of knowing what was down there. They weren't expecting to have 3 members of Faze, all completely tripled up on the bottom of that staircase, and Ella might not be.
These are both simple Valkyrie camera spots. This one's great because it's pretty hidden next to these files right there, and it'll be able to show you what enemies are doing while they're holding the hatch, or if they're pushing downstairs through the doorway. This other one is just as easy and simple to get to. It'll be right under the chair, right outside kitchen. Bad throw. There we go. And you'll be able to watch the push from the hallway to the right or through kitchen right there.
As we hit just under 30 seconds, and Liquid will need to close this round out in order to take Oregon, or it will be yet another defensive hold. Nesk just storms right in, and Nesk with 2 on the bottom. He takes Mav and Cameraman down, as Astro doing some work up by Master, but it's a rally as Zig and Nesk now take out 2, and it's going to be all up to Moringa to clutch, but he has Diffuser down. Will he be able to win this? The Lion is going to grab the Diffuser. They're going to take that Mira. He sees the Ash, and they're just going to win on defense by hanging on. They bleed out the time, and Moringa survives inside the corner. They couldn't find him and get the plant down in time, and we are on round number 11, as that has now been 4 defensive wins in a row.
What a play. That was Moringa, the smoke, correct?
Absolutely was.
That was an amazing... Props, Moringa. The perfect read. The only position he could have gone to forego a fight, and he went to it. He committed. He knew there was no one on that west window because it was clear. He knew that there were 2 people coming from below, and he was like, yeah, I could go to the A-bomb and maybe try to take the first fight that comes to me, but I know the second person would refrag me because the enemy team is too formidable for them to make that mistake. So I'm going to go to Dresser West window, the only place that they will not check when they come into the site. And they didn't check. You saw Nesk, he came inches away from checking it. He came off that peak at the last possible moment, and it ultimately costs Liquid the round. And potentially the map, as we now go to the very final round, FaZe Clan will have what I think we can consider the advantage at this point of attacking. But questionable, considering we've seen quite a lot of defensive wins in the latter half of this map.
So they'll go downstairs, they'll have a Valkyrie. A Valkyrie is an interesting choice. Take us through why a team would run a Valkyrie rather than a Pulse in this scenario.
So most of the time you're going to see a Pulse, obviously, and that would be because you're going to put your Pulse underneath the kitchen, and then you can see tons of things. You can see whoever's pushing the main stairs using your cardiac sensor. You can see anyone inside a kitchen. You can see anyone outside a kitchen, outside the building. You can see people in the kitchen hall. You can see a lot of stuff, right? And you'd bring a Valkyrie if you're trying to maintain more site presence, as is evident by the 2 Valkyrie cam placements so far from Mav, being in the site. Now make that all 3. So
Kickstarter already did a really good explanation of why a defensive team would choose Valkyrie over Pulse, and additionally he explained why they would have all the Valkyrie cameras downstairs. But essentially it's for more site presence, and just in case you weren't able to see where exactly she put the cameras, one of them was right here. Looks over the entirety of Blue, all of Church, you're able to see into Moto too. The first one she actually threw was over here, If you're able to get it right at the back end of the RPG, I think that's ideal. Let's see. Nope. Let's get a little more right there. It kind of looks like it's a part of the weapon, but that camera is great because it looks over most of Arsenal down the hallway to the main doorway. And the last Valkyrie camera was in this back area. He had to shoot out these files, throw it right there, and now you have a good sightline on both sides of the corridor if that one's taken out.
There is no way that they were expecting something that was not basement on Clubhouse. So this was a conscious decision made by Team Liquid. Either that or a tremendous hiccup.
So it's not uncommon to blow open this whole floor to get sightlines down into bomb when it's down in Arsenal and Church, but the difference that they did was getting on top of this table lets you get such a deep angle onto the bomb site. You're able to cut off the rotation from the back or the west side near the shelving units, and you can actually do the same thing on top of this table, being able to cut off the rotation in the back, which is a common spot for defenders.
Wall, for example, on border, which is the next map should we need it. In this case, what it allows a Valkyrie to do is heave a...
This is another one that's just a simple difference in the way you move around the map. Hibana jumped on top of this table to get a good angle on defenders that usually go at the halfway point towards basement. It changes your head height angle, so it makes it less likely for the defenders to get a headshot on you. And then she went from this table over to Pooltable to get another angle on the stairs and stay behind good cover right here.
As you can see, they've had to reevaluate a few things and are now coming at this in a different manner. They typically would just clear straight into kitchen and start opening up the holes, but they just can't do that right now.
So this is going to be the last tip for this video. It's another really simple one, but honestly, it's the simple differences that make all the difference between Pro League and what you see in regular ranked play. So it's not an uncommon place to be for a defender next to the pool table, but opening up a small hole in the barricade right here will make you harder to spot. You'll have great cover behind this brick wall, and the steam will basically make you invisible for an easy kill for someone pushing that hallway. Alright, I think that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video.
Could just be because, of course, those are slightly newer maps. All that said, we're finally into the match, and speculation can turn to the wayside as the first C4 goes out and hits a player. Mav goes down. That's the blitz. A huge kill there for Zig. Starting things off snazzy.